Hi everybody. I really hope this video is working. This is like my, I can't even tell you how many times. Okay, I guess I'm just trying to be too much of a tech tard to do much. But while people are popping on, I'm trying to make sure this is working. If you're there, do me a little shout out. I see a couple people. But today's card, what we're going to do is using the Let It Ride stamp set. I need to go to my camera because I can't seem to tell where everybody is here or where there's a big delay on Facebook apparently. So anyway, today's card we're going to use the Let It Ride stamp set. Gotta love the horses. And I did two different cards with this one. I did one with a little pinto on it, and this is called a reverse masking. And it's a lot simpler than it looks. And then I just carried some of my image down beyond the reverse masking. So then on this one, the only difference is with this one was I cut out my mask after I masked it. I need to figure out an easier way to do this because you have to use part of your die and only partially cut it and then fussy cut the rest to get that 3D horse to stand up that is still connected to the outer frame. It's a little more difficult with such an intricate image. Oh, hi Fran. Yay. Sound and everything's working. That's great to know. I've been a little flustered, so I hope this card goes as well as I had hoped. So we're going to start on this one. And you are going to start with just a regular A2 card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5 folded at 4 1/4. We're just going to keep that aside for our base. For the second layer, I did two things. I took my stitched rectangle dies, which I can't live without these. Absolutely love them. I use them for everything. And I took my number 2 die and I cut out my main image piece. Oh, I lied. It's the number 3 die, or the largest die. See, I'm already lying to you. So it's the largest die. And I actually cut out 2 of those for the reason of being that one of them I'm going to use as a mask. And that way it's just the same size and you have it as a mask. I know these dies are just epic nice. With the second piece, I took another one of the stitched dies. Look, I picked the right one that one time. So I'm going to say that's 1, 2, 5th one in, just to make a little window. And the piece that you cut out with this, save it. You can do another image on it. But it was easier than putting it in your stamping trimmer and cutting a rectangle, which you can do. It's just, this makes short work of it. So then we're going to take with our main piece, and I wanted my image a little offset so that I could put this larger greeting on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want it, and I want it to come up. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I'm going to have it come up just a little bit off the base of my card. And then what I do is I have this removable, God, I've had this forever. It's, I just call it Dotto, but it's removable adhesive. And I'll take and I'll put, you don't need much, just a little bit on the back side of your mask. Oh, hi Donna. And then you're going to place it where you want it. And there you go. And it's going to hold it in there, so it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit on this for you so that when we start, hopefully that helps you guys. So now what we're going to do Oh, you know what? I already messed up. See, I'm already flustered with this whole video thing. Thankfully, this comes right off when you need it to. We're going to grab our stamparatus. And we're going to stamp our horse first. Now you guys know why I don't do Facebook Live. I'm just really kind of flailing here. So bear with me. I'm really trying. We're going to take our horse image. And I want him down toward the bottom and off the side of where he's going to be out of the frame. So we're just going to take him there. I can't live without my stamparatus either. And I use Memento Black. The main reasons I use Memento is it's really good with your Stampin' Blends. It won't bleed as long as it's dry. I'm sure if you use StazOn or even basic black and you just make sure that your image is very dry before you start coloring, your ink shouldn't bleed. But I like using the stamparatus because I want my image really dark and bold, so I kind of do it twice. There we go. I'm gonna wipe this off a little bit so it's out of the way. Now we're gonna take, I'm gonna set that aside because we're still gonna need it. Now I'm gonna take my mask that I have my little bit of removable adhesive. You could do this with Post-it notes too if you wanted to, but if you're making more than one, using a scrap piece of cardstock kind of makes short work of it. And then I'm going to show you a trick with this. This is masking liquid. I will put a link to this on the blog post. I've had this one. This is actually a refill, and it's probably, I don't know, that full. And it'll last forever. It makes it easier than you can just stamp an image and cut it out and mask it. This makes really short work of it, because I do a lot of masking and sponging, and it just makes it easy. So I just take a little piece of scrap paper, shake it up a little because it can separate. A little bit on your paper here. A little bit goes a long way. And I have a dedicated brush, just, oops, that I'm going to roll right through it. A dedicated brush that I use to do this. Now you can leave it masked like this and not worry about masking the rest of your horse, or you can just, like I said, it's removable. You can do your whole horse. All you want to do is just cover it with this liquid. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll move in. I'll move in for you. I'm really hoping I'm doing this to where you can see it. When you're using, just like you would on paper mask, sometimes you want to leave just a little bit of your outline so that your colors that you're sponging are going to go all the way to your image. So you don't have a white line around your image. And this will dry fairly quickly, and it doesn't hurt your image at all. Just make sure that your ink is dry. Just fill in your image. Because I want my horse to be vivid white, so that's why we're masking him. Just do your whole image. This stuff is amazing. If you haven't seen it before, it's really neat. I found it, somebody was using it a couple years ago on a video I saw, and it's just amazing stuff. And if you've seen many of my cards where I do a lot of sponging, this is how I'm able to do these images where they're masked off. Especially if you're doing like a card swap or something, and you could just do several at a time. I'm going to do just a little bit in his mane. I want some of my color to be behind his mane, but I'm just going to do a little bit. And there he's done. So I'm going to set this aside. And you want to make sure it's dry. You can see you can tell when it's dry. See where it's dry there? So I'm just going to dry it a little bit before I lay my mask on there. Probably wouldn't hurt it. And then we're going to try this mask again, you guys. I like totally masked and unmasked this. That's the easy remove adhesive. Now I'll place my mask. Then we're going to grab our trees. And I know I want my horizon up here, so he's coming. I guess I could put the card there so you can see it. So he's coming across. So I figure I want my trees about to the top of where the mask is. Yep, about like that. So we're going to grab our Stamparatus again. We'll stamp our first set of trees, again in the memento. So I've kind of got you guys way out of screen here, don't I? And then just do a really dark image. See, it wasn't really dark there. I like stamping mine twice, just to make sure my images are nice and dark. So when the stamp positioning tool came out, my world was a lot better. I used to use the Stamp-A-Majig. I don't know how many of you had a Stamp-A-Majig, but that was a tough one. So now I'm going to wipe this off just a little bit. And I want some more trees behind him. Kind of want to stay with my same horizon there a little bit, but I want my trees within the frame. So we'll go there. And the good thing about your mask is nothing's going to stick to it. So we're just going to stamp the trees right over it. That one came out nice and dark. And grab a wipe. Got my cleaners here. I'm going to clean that off a little bit. Now, you can see I got my magnets stuck to each other, and they broke. I'm pretty sure everybody that has a Stamparatus has probably already done that once, at least. Or any stamp positioning tool. These magnets are so strong. So now we want to create our mountain behind it, and that is done simply with Post-it notes. So I'm going to take a Post-it note, and I'm going to create my mountain background. So you just take, and this is the sticky side here. I just want to create a mountain. And like most mountains, there's no rhyme or reason to how they go. I'm going to save this one little piece. You'll see why. Okay, I want that mountain on that side to be a little more So my mountain's going to go a little ways up the tree there. Let's stick it down. Oops. I think I tore off all my sticky. Can't believe it. That's okay. We'll just use a little bit of tape on it. And we're going to put our mountains about right there. And then we're going to do, I like doing my sky first because I can always bleed my mountains up into the sky. So for the sky, we are going to use Pineapple Punch, Mango Melody, some Tempting Turquoise, and a touch of Night of Navy. So let's start with our lightest color first. And I know my sunset's going to be right at the top of the mountains. So I just want to hit the very top of the mountains just a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to grab our Mango Melody and add a little bit of Orange Sunset in there. Just go a little bit above your yellow and then pull down into your yellow. And that kind of gives it a bright sunset. Or sunrise. It could be a sunrise. Depends on where you're at. West Coast, East Coast. Now I'm going to take the Tempting Turquoise and my dauber for that. I label my daubers because I get them confused if they're in that container. Plus I have a lot of people that come over and craft, and it's just easier to track them. And then we're just going to do the top of our sky in the Tempting Turquoise. And when it comes down into the orange a little bit, it gives you a little bit of the green. Usually like going a little bit darker to my corners of my scene. So now we're going to try some Night of Navy. I don't know if I'm catching your guys' comments or not. I don't think my feed is feeding, so if I missed a comment, I'm sorry. Oh, I did miss some comments. I will go back and try to catch them, you guys. Apparently, I'm just learning how to do this live, and my feed doesn't seem to be feeding. You know what I mean? So I have to kind of look up and scroll. Don't know why it's not doing that. So I will try to go back and read those. So I'm just adding a little bit of dark highlight there. Put that back with our... Okay, now you've got your mountains there that I taped on. See them there? So now what we'll do... Oh, did I do it backward? I probably did. We're going to take that one little strip that has our mountain here, the one we tore off, and put it... See, it's not going to work because I did it wrong. I changed it. So you know what? We're going to wing it here. I'm going to cover my mountains. I really flopped on this Facebook Live, you guys. I'm so sorry. So then I'm going to just... I want my landscape to be masked. And I want to be able to get to my mountain a little. And it's okay if it goes into your sky just a little bit, because that's going to add a dark tint. And on this one, I'm going to start with the Pacific Point for my mountain. Start at the bottom and go up into the top of my mask there. Hi, Tammy. Thank you for coming. I'm really flopping on this Facebook Live, but I'm having fun nonetheless. I was playing with technical stuff all morning. So now I still want to mask the rest of my mountain. And so you can go right over where you've used that liquid mask. It's not going to come off. You'd be surprised, but it will come off very easily, and you'll be surprised how. Okay, so that was Pacific Point. And just to add a little bit more detail to your mountains, I'm going to grab a little bit of Night of Navy. We're going to add some dark highlights in there. Especially down around where your grass landscape or your horizon's going to be. And all it does is just add some texture to your mountains. I love sponging, so as nobody knows. See, I messed up there, but that's okay, because you know what? You need to lay your mask back out and just go up where you need it. You know, I did like 3 of these cards and didn't mess them up, so here we are. All right. Oh, thank you, Donna. You're so sweet. That's the other fun thing about sponging is you really can't go wrong. I mean, just keep doing it until you get the effect you want. I love sponging. I wish I knew how to brayer, but I really don't. I'm kind of cruddy at it. I got a little white there. I'm just going to add some of my orange. And there it is. So now we're going to flip it. And cover our, leave yourself a, like I didn't do on the mountain there, so I'm going to show you the right way to do it. Now, a little late, better late than never. So now, leave yourself a tiny little line, because it's going to be okay that you go over that. What it's going to do is blend your horizon. I don't know why my stickies aren't sticking. So then what we're going to do, and for the grass, I'm going to do Mossy Meadow and Old Olive. And I want to start with my lighter color. Because you can always cover with the darker colors. If something goes wrong, you can always... Oh, Fran, the blue horse will go away, though. As soon as I remove the mask. It's got masking liquid on it. So all I'm going to do is dab in some of my Old Olive here. Then I'm going to take Mossy Meadow. Grab the wrong dauber. And you know that piece of scrap you had? You know what? Just add a few little lines of highlight throughout your grass. And it just kind of gives your... Just dab it on there. Gives your grass a little bit of two-tone texture. There's no right, wrong, indifferent. Just dab it. See how it gives you grass texture? You can go back over it with your old olive and just kind of blend it if you want, if it's too much. And now we have that. And I see my sky is kind of blotchy. I'm just going to go along that top edge a little bit and just blend it. You can take your, where's my tempting turquoise? Because I really like a turquoise sky. I like it very bright and colorful. Oh yeah, I like the blue horse too. I wonder if I should make a blue horse. I guess you can make them. Don't they have gray horses? I'm a city girl. I moved to Yakima. I never even saw a cow before Yakima up close. I mean, you know, my meat comes in styrofoam and plastic, so seeing a cow up close, I was really excited. So there we go. So now we got that. We're going to take off our mask. And you have your horse. Now we don't want to take off our masking fluid yet because I liked carrying my grass down. But see where you have a little bit of glue residue? I will put a link in the video of this. This is an adhesive eraser. I think Stampin' Up! Used to have them. They last forever. They're like $4. And I use them for everything. Especially if you're using glue and you accidentally, you know, oozes out or something. And I use glue for everything. So I just get my glue residue off. And I want to sponge a little bit of my old olive. This is really weird to try to look at the video and do this at the same time because there's quite a time delay, I guess, with Facebook Live. So I just want to drag a little bit of my grass in here. I don't know, I thought it was a cute effect when I did the card originally, so we'll do it for this one. Then we'll take our Mossy Meadow and do some more little dark highlights for him, just to carry the whole scene through. And especially right where his grass is here. Blend it across. Now if you want, on your horse, you can also take your old olive, and this is the light old olive, and just take the feather point, and you figure your shadows are coming from behind the horse. So we want to add a little bit of shadow here behind the horse. And it doesn't have to be precise, you're just adding a little bit of highlight. You can add a little to your grass there, where his shadow's coming down. Then I'm going to take, I feel like I'm not spending the detail I do on these, but this one shows a little better, where you can see the detail of just a little bit of shadow. And before I remove my mask off that, like I said, with sponging, you can go back and fix. I want my sunset a little brighter right there at the crease of the mountain, where it looks like it's just going down. So I'm just going to add a little more orange. What do you think? I think it looks great now. There we go. Close everything up because I will drop an ink pad and things get ugly. Oh, sorry. I was going to put a band-aid on this so you guys didn't have to look at this. I must be the only person I know that can get injured at a doctor's office. I was at the doctor's office when I cut my finger. I went to wash my hands and they have the little paper towel thing there in the room. I cut myself on the paper towel holder. So when the doctor came in to see me, I was bleeding. I'm like, I'm at your office. I figured I'd just hurt myself while I'm here. So now I'm going to take our greeting, go back to our Stamparatus. I use the guidelines on the Stamparatus in case my image moves for any reason. So we're going to take, don't you love this saying, live as if someone left the gate open. That's kind of like the motto of my life. Oh gosh, thanks guys for the hearts. That is so sweet. You guys are so sweet. Okay, I lost my black ink. Really? Oh, sorry. Here it is. Squirrel. We're going to ink that up real good. That's very sweet of you, Tammy. I'm really looking forward to on stage. I'm trying to talk my husband into going. So your husband will have somebody to talk to. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I want my image really dark. You could even, I bet if you emboss that in black emboss, it'd be really pretty too. It's not necessary, but I have something on my stamp, I think, because I've got a little bit of white mark there. It's kind of an OCD stamping thing. I like my images to be clear and dark, and there we go. There we go. Now, the Feast de la Resistance is this masking fluid. Watch this. Okay. Alright, so now you're going to take that little, which I lost already, adhesive eraser. And all you do is just go right over your horse. Look at that. It comes right off. And it kind of balls up. You could probably just use your finger too. But this just works really fast. It balls off. That didn't sound right, did it? Oops. See, I put my mask on when I told you guys not to before my ink was all the way dry. Make sure your ink is dry before you put this masking fluid on, because it can smear just a little bit, but it's not going to hurt this one, because he's going to have a big brown spot right wherever I goofed up. Got all our masking fluid off. Now we're just going to take, let's go with the bronze marker. I like the color of the brown on the bronze. I don't even have my scrap here. A lot of times I'll take and see if that's the color I want when I'm doing something. So we want to do, let's see. See, and I don't even know anything much about horses, but I'm just going to add some spots on this little guy. So we can go right over where my ink smeared. Make it a little brown nose. The carryover. Maybe we'll do his ear. Carry it down a little bit. Doing a Pinto is almost easier than doing the colored ones. I mean, the colored one I had to, you know, kind of use my lifter and add some highlights. This just kind of makes short work of it. So let's add a spot about right there. Color it in. Maybe he should have a little bit on his chest here. Carry it down. But you could probably use regular markers with this just fine. I'm a blends girl. I love my blends for a couple reasons. One, with blends you can actually, you have a chance to fix your faux pas. The masking fluid, Donna, is Molotow. I will put a link in I'll put this whole card and stuff on my blog, and I'll have the links to the eraser and the masking fluid. Like I said, they have a masking fluid pen it's only maybe $4 or $5, something like that. I mean, back when I bought it. And you can just use the pen. For me, it's just as easy to use the refill and a paintbrush. So let's add a little here. So I will tell you straight off, do not do everything I just did. Stuck my hand right in it. But there's another fix to that too. I might be able to show you. But wait, he needs a brown foot. Hold on, let me finish coloring him. I'm going to add a few more dark to it. You can kind of layer your Stampin' Blends. They will get darker. So I want a little bit darker in some areas. I can't believe I did that, you guys. Okay, well, I can. And this is just me. I'll show you another neat trick. This here is called a sanding eraser. It's by Mono. And it will pick up, see where I did right there, stuck my hand in it. It'll pick up some of that. You have to wait till it's dry. And you just erase it. Do this in moderation. You can press too hard and it'll tear your paper. But if you just kind of go a couple different directions at it, it'll take it right up. If it's nothing real, serious. But I got this because I do exactly that. That or I'll have ink on my hands, as you see. And I'll stick my thumb on something when I'm putting it together. I'll try to put the link to this too on, this is like you can get 3 or 4 of these for $4 or $5. I bought my whole team a set of these because we all do the same thing. It'd be like, oh no, but it'll fix it. Now the difference on, then you're just going to mount this to your card base. I'm a white on white kind of girl. I like that look. You can either pop it up with some dimensionals. I like the white on white. You could even do a real thin frame on this if you wanted to. Oh, a rhinestone. Oh yeah, put a rhinestone over the fingerprint. Yep, been there, done that. When in doubt, bling it. What I did on this brown horse, I'll work on a way to make it easier. I tried to use my stitched frame that we used to cut this mask and only run it partially through to partially cut my rectangle. And then I fussy cut right around the horse here. Okay, that was a lot harder than I think it should be. You could probably much easier to put this into your Stampin' Trimmer. Trim your lines till you get to the horse and then just cut around your horse. It does actually look really cool in person though, because the horse is popped up. What I did do on this one was before I mounted the main sheet, I did color the white where the horse was with a gray marker. I accidentally kind of messed up a little bit right there. You can see where my gray marker bled. Just enough so it wasn't a stark white right behind the horse. But other than that, that's your whole card. I will pop this up because I like the way the white on white pops up. Let me grab dimensionals. I don't, a lot of people probably think it's a waste. I don't scrimp on my dimensionals. That, or I use a lot of my dimensional strips. I think I said it once before in one of my videos. I was at my family's house and I had sent this really nice card, and it had dimensionals. I didn't use enough dimensionals and it had collapsed in the mail. So I was kind of embarrassed, but like I said before, my family, it was to my family, so they have to keep it and tell me they like it, because that's what they just have to do. Yeah, Tenny, with the ink where you don't want it, always. But that little sanding eraser, it's epic. I use it a lot, obviously. And apparently if I'm going to be doing Facebook Live and being all nervous, I'm going to need it even more. But they last forever. And I'm going to sand this. I usually line mine up 2 corners and then bring it down. And there you go. Somebody did do a video where you can use like the backing from this and stick it behind your dimensionals. Who was it that did it? It's one of our team that did it. And you can easily lay something down and be able to move it, change it. I guess I'll have to watch that video. But there you go. I guess for me, I like carrying my designs to the inside. So I think I would pick these little guys. And just pick a corner. I think I want them here. If you're going to color them on the inside of your card, though, I would use your regular markers, because your Stampin' Blends will bleed through to the back of your card. I mean, I suppose it's not a big thing, but somebody flips over your card where you have your name and it's all inked through, it may not. There you go. Or you could even leave them white. Add a couple brown dots so they're matching Pintos and your sentiment. And there you go. Well, you guys, I appreciate your patience through my faux pas of my only second Facebook Live. But I hope you enjoyed today's cards. And I will get better at this, and we'll get some more, because I love doing techniques. This technique actually is called reverse masking. Yes, you're right, Fran. I should have rotated or put it into my Stamparatus right. But I figured I wasn't pushing that hard on that. But you're right. I should have rotated that and done it correctly. I hope you guys liked it today. I will put this up on my blog, and the supplies and the links to the Molotow graphic refill. I'll put it up for the pen. You can get it at Amazon. It's free shipping. I think the pen is only like $8 or $9, and it will last you forever. I have them both. The pen has a rather large tip on it. So think about that before you buy it, because if you're doing some really intricate type of stuff, it's easier to just dedicate a small paintbrush to it. Doesn't hurt it. I'll link to the sanding eraser and to the adhesive eraser. Another item I just can't live without. I have tons of them. Many of my new team members get those kind of gifts from me when they join. But thank you, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and have a happy stamping day.